Welcome back, everybody. I have another topic for you, and if you are working on your kitchen design and remodel right now, there is a topic that is really hard to kind of find all this kind of information on YouTube, and it is all about appliances. And you're like, okay, appliances, that's easy, you know, yeah, get a slide-in range, I maybe get a refrigerator and a dishwasher, boom, I'm done, you know, maybe a microwave or something. But there are so many little details that flow into kitchen design when it comes to appliances. So I want to go over these items with you so you don't make any kind of mistakes. And it kind of goes back to my last meeting I just had with one of my clients, and understanding that there are a lot of questions when it comes to appliances, and especially with the cabinets. So make sure to watch this video all the way to the end. There's going to be some crucial tips on all the different kinds of appliances that you should know when you are working on your kitchen design and kitchen remodel. Now, before we get started, my name is Kerstin, kitchen designer and owner of King's Kitchen, your favorite cabinet supplier in the Pacific Northwest. We're located in Tacoma, Washington. And if you have not done so yet, make sure to like this video and also subscribe to our channel. Hit that little bell button so you get notified whenever we release a new video, which is every Friday. We are working hard on it to make it happen every Friday. So yeah, if you are in the stages of design and remodel, this is definitely the channel to be, as I go into like super detail and really go over some things that typically people don't discuss in general on YouTube. So all right, I think that was it. Now let's get started. Okay, so first on the list, it's like what is that thing in America that people always say, like, was it the chicken or the egg first? Like, what comes first? And the same is for cabinets and appliances, like what comes first? And in reality there's a saying in the US that cabinets get built around appliances. And that is very, very true. And yes, I know that, you know, sometimes people go like to a big box store and people don't go into all the details, and the designer does this basic drawing and they'll leave open, let's say 30 inches for a slide-in range, 24 inches for a dishwasher, 30 inches for a microwave that's mounted underneath, like a microwave vent that is mounted underneath a cabinet over a range, 36 inches for a refrigerator. And yes, there are a lot of standard sizes you can work with when it comes to the appliances. But, you know, for me, I kind of work in kind of the medium range of projects plus higher end. And whenever you have a little bit nicer appliances, there's really a lot of information that you need to figure out your cabinet package correctly, okay? So in general, when I work with somebody, I always say, please figure out your appliances, have them purchased, or really know which model numbers you are trying to purchase for your remodel. And then we base all of our cabinet drawings off of that. Actually, I take this so serious that I add the model numbers of the appliances for my clients into my drawings. So everybody knows I am speccing for these appliances. And when we talk about some of these other topics, you'll really understand why it is so important. So when you're working on your cabinet package, make sure to have your appliances figured out by the time you finalize your cabinets. All right, next on the list we have, and I'm just going to ramble through the appliances and we'll figure things out together. So dishwasher. Standard dishwashers are usually 24 inches wide, and you know, in most cases, yes, I'll look at the dishwasher, I'll read the specs, but it's usually leave open 24 inches and you are fine. When you are working with entry level, I call them builder grade cabinets, those cabinets usually don't have no options for customizations, and those cabinets usually come finished on both ends, on the sides. Now, when you're working with semi-custom or full custom cabinetry, this is something that you have to specify when you're building your cabinet package. Do you need a finished end on one side or both sides on your cabinets, right? So when you're thinking about your appliances, do you need a finished end on your appliances? And in general, I say no. And there are people that always spec for finished ends when a cabinet is sitting next to an appliance, but it is not always necessary. It really depends on the appliance. Sometimes on dishwashers, yes, I do prefer adding a finished end, but for example, on a sliding range, a slide-in 30-inch range or 36-inch range or something like that, if you look at pictures of ranges typically they stick out past the cabinetry. So even when you open them, you cannot see the sides. So, you know, kind of starting with the dishwasher here, it is kind of a personal preference to do a finished end on a dishwasher on either one or two cabinets that are sitting next to it. You can get away with not doing it, but obviously you can do it, which usually increases the cost of your cabinet package, but it is so minimal. Sometimes I just throw that in there. Okay, another thing to remember when you're working with dishwashers is that there are some dishwasher models where you can absolutely get matching cabinet fronts, and usually these dishwashers, if you read like all of the specifications of the model, it will tell you it's usually like a 3/4 inch panel, and then you size it to the specs. You size the panel to the specs that your dishwasher recommends, and then you can order those. I have to say that most builder grade or like non-customizable cabinet lines can't really fulfill panel sizes for dishwashers or refrigerators or freezers. You guys know I work with Belmont a lot. It's a semi-custom, full custom line. And whenever you're working with appliance panels, and that's what we call this application, it always helps to work with a cabinet manufacturer where you can be super custom on sizing, right? Now, another thing when it comes to dishwashers is back in the day, so dishwashers don't fulfill the entire cavity of that 24-inch opening. You have 24 inches wide and you have 34.5 inches tall. You don't fulfill that entire opening. They can kind of wiggle a little bit. And dishwashers usually have little holes for screws on the top that back in the day were just screwed into the substrate for your laminate countertops, right? Now, because we've moved so much into hard surfaces, you can't drill into, you know, underneath your quartz countertop or even your natural stone countertop. So there is this little bracket, and here's a picture of it. There's this little bracket, and all you need to do is screw in the dishwasher into the bracket, run the bracket across, and then bend it down on the sides, and then you screw it in on the sides. Now, not everybody needs that. Sometimes the dishwashers have different brackets these days where you can just screw them automatically into the sides of the cabinetry. But if you end up with your appliance getting installed and it's wiggling, don't freak out. I feel like the first thing people do in our industry is always freak out and think, oh my God, something went wrong. When in reality, keep a cool head because there's probably an easy solution. And if you're working with the right people, like we all know these things, you know, and it's like, oh, not a big deal. You know, I have like 50 of those brackets laying around in my office in case we need one. Okay. So just give somebody a call or you can find those at Home Depot, honestly, or even on Amazon, and I'll link them below, and just get a dishwasher bracket and you are good to go. Next on the list, let's talk a little bit about slide-in ranges. And I've already discussed finished ends on slide-in ranges. Not really necessary. I do sometimes, you know, if it's a really high-end kitchen and, you know, if people really want it, then obviously we can add finished ends wherever you have an opening, right? But slide-in range, typically you leave 30 inches to 36 inches open or 48 inches. It all depends on the model. I have not seen a ton of variance here. So the range is actually an appliance along with the dishwasher that is the least of my concerns when I am working on a cabinet package for somebody, okay? So just double check the specs and make sure all of your widths are correct. And also when have your cabinets installed, kind of go over your openings and make sure, you know, you're not by an 1/8 of an inch off. Cause like honestly, even on a slide-in range, if you're off by an 1/8 of an inch, that's going to bite you in your behind at the point of countertop install, and now people have to shave things back and you can't get your slide-in range in. So make sure you're really keeping those openings to the exact dimension that your specs call for. Next on the list, I would say under-mounted vent hoods. So under cabinet mounted vent hoods, and in most cases for people, this kind of means the microwave vent. And you really want to read your specs. So I walked into a house the other day and the slide-in gas range had a microwave vent, and I swear it was like 18 inches like of difference. I mean, I might be a little dramatic right now, but that is not typically what the manufacturer of the appliances wants. So if you read your specs of your, let's say, a gas range, your manufacturer will recommend to you the correct height to mount a vent hood above, and also depending on what kind of style of vent hood. And let's say the gas range company, whoever you choose, say, hey, I want at least 24 to 30 inches. You've got that 6-inch wiggle room, and then you take a look at your microwave vent hood, such a hard word, and you take a look what they recommend for good height. And honestly, in general, I wouldn't recommend a microwave vent over a gas range, because like, you're a serious cook if you're, you know, cooking with gas, so you should have a real vent hood. But anyway, if that's the combo that you're ending up with, then read the specs for the microwave. What is a secure, kind of safe height for that microwave vent to sit above your range? And then you can have a little bit, usually have a little bit of wiggle room between the two, and then that's a personal preference of where you want to sit it, depending if you're really tall or you're more of a shorty. Mowgli, can you sit down for mommy and be quiet? We're making a video for Courtney. She's gonna be mad. You'd be all loud in the background. Mowgli, sit. Good boy. Stay right there. All right, let's keep talking about microwaves. So I've done a lot of kitchens in the past couple of years where we're really going away from the microwave that is mounted above your range, and people want other locations for the microwaves. One is in a cabinetry above the, I'm sorry, that's my dog in the background. One of them is in a cabinetry above the countertop, like in this picture. And usually there's two different ways on doing that. One is you have a cavity of the cabinetry that is completely finished on the inside, and you literally just sit a tabletop microwave in there, okay? There's different versions of microwaves. The second option, like this one, is that it's almost like a custom oven cabinet, but only for microwaves, mounted on the wall, where you have a front panel that gets cut out for the microwave insert. So it's a built-in microwave. So there's a lot of different things to really learn about appliances and like figure out which kind of style of appliance you want to go for, because it's all different looks. And when it comes to the cabinetry, there's different needs you have. As you can tell here, already 2 different cabinets that you need for 2 different styles of microwaves, right? Next option is sitting the microwave a little bit lower, and you can use a standard just tabletop microwave for this application, how it is in this picture, and basically just sitting it inside of an appliance garage. Now, if I'm sitting a microwave inside of an appliance garage, I still want to confirm the size of the microwave you are choosing, so I know how deep to make this section. Typically, I don't want to make this section the standard 24 inches deep, because it's kind of awkward when you lift up that door and it's right in your face. You want that to sit back a little bit, maybe 18 inches, something like that. But again, it all depends on how deep, how wide, how tall is this microwave. So please guys, like just select all of your appliances before we place that final order for cabinets, okay? And then I also have done tons of projects where we are using drawer microwaves. So we're basically sitting them inside of a base cabinet, and the most well-known appliance for this is the Sharp microwave drawer. You know, and I'll have like tons of links below for you guys to check these items out, but the Sharp microwave drawer is usually my go-to if you have, you know, if you're looking for that drawer microwave, because the quality of that drawer is just amazing. Like, it's just so smooth. Because I had people ask, like, you know, if I sit like a coffee cup in there, like, is it just gonna like fall over or something? And like, no, the Sharp microwave is just a really, really good investment when it comes to microwaves, and extremely smooth. But here's the thing, and I'm sorry, in the background, that's my dog again. When you're working with Belmont cabinets, when you're working with a Sharp microwave drawer, you're typically, in a perfect world, working with frameless cabinets. In the frameless cabinet world, appliances, or knowing the right sizes, is even more important, because the whole design background about like these Euro-style cabinets is that all of your reveals of appliances, of panels, of doors, everything lines up and there's the same reveals. in a well-designed, frameless, like kind of kitchen, all your reveals are the same. You don't just have big gaps somewhere. Usually when I go somewhere and I see that, I'm like, oh, they didn't know what they were doing with frameless. Like seriously, like you have to know and understand how to design with frameless cabinets, and especially when working with appliances. So again, the Sharp microwave drawer comes in a couple different sizes. The most used, I think, is the 24-inch one. So you need to look at that and you need to figure out the specs of what you need for your insert, okay? And then it's gonna sit nice and flush with your cabinets and the cabinets sitting next to this base cabinet. The cool thing about Belmont, you know, guys, I love them. And like, that's just another thing why I love them is they have a perfectly sized Sharp microwave base cabinet that is just like literally made for this appliance. So again, if you guys wanna check out the Sharp microwave drawer, I do have a link below for that. And then next on the list, touching base on vent hoods, just like wall mounted or ceiling mounted vent hoods, kind of like this model. I'm just going to say one thing really quick, and I might make a whole nother video about vent hoods because it's like a big topic, but you're most likely, 99% of the time, most likely going to end up with your vent connection at a different height than what you had in the past if this is a remodel. So just include in your budget that that's gonna have to get moved, which it then includes you're going to have to get the exterior vent moved on the exterior of your house and probably repair some siding and touch up siding. Okay, so that's just the only thing I'm gonna throw in there. We already talked about heights with the microwave vent, so the same thing for a wall mounted vent. Check your appliance specifications for the vent hood and find that medium and then figure out on yourself, well, do I want it to sit higher or lower depending on maybe my personal height. Okay, next on the list, let's talk a little bit about refrigerators. This is very similar to the dishwasher topic in terms of a lot of standard sizes, like, you know, 30 inches, 36, stuff like that. And also panels. So you can get refrigerators where you can add matching cabinetry panel fronts. Just check the specs and make sure you get a panel ready refrigerator in this case. Sometimes people do their kitchens and they kind of stick with standard sizes or like stick with some of their existing appliances because it's just too much of a budget right now. And honestly, the oven still or the refrigerator works still good, but you know, maybe two years down the road, I want to get a new refrigerator. So a standard size for a refrigerator to kind of guarantee down the road that you can find a model that fits is usually a 36 by 72. And if somebody is not buying a new refrigerator and, you know, they're telling me down the road, maybe I'll swap it out, that's usually the size I will go for. Now, if currently they have a refrigerator that's maybe 36 by 68, I would have a gap above my cabinet or above my refrigerator and my cabinet. And then I just fill it in with a filler. But down the road, if you were to ever change that out, you have that standard size. So it's kind of like a backup plan, you know, thinking about the future. Because honestly, if you're doing a kitchen remodel, this remodel should last you 10, 15 years, you know, so really thinking like down that road. Other than that, I think another thing to add is, you know, obviously always look at your appliance specs because sometimes you have to leave a little bit of extra wiggle room on the top of an appliance. Again, when dealing with frameless cabinetry, there are refrigeration systems, especially the higher end ones. You know, we're talking about Sub-Zero and things like that, where you need to be correct on your openings, like up to like 1/8 of an inch or sometimes 1/16 of an inch. So really take appliance specs serious. And then kind of the newest thing that a lot of people have been looking at are counter depth refrigerators, which are just shorter. Like the depth is less so you don't have these gigantic refrigerators that just intrude into your space, right? And and then something else I could add for refrigerators, just because somebody asked me the other day, how to get the frame, how to do a frame around a refrigerator, and this is super easy. It's usually just a full depth cabinet above surrounded by 2 panels. Okay, so that's it. So there are cabinet manufacturers that will make you like this as one piece, but honestly, like most people, like most designers, like 99% of designers will probably just have a full depth cabinet and then surrounded by 2 panels. boom, your refrigerator is has a frame around it, right? Now, if you are designing something with a refrigerator and a tall cabinet next to it and maybe a panel on the other side, you have panel, refrigerator, another tall cabinet, make sure that that cabinet next to it has a finished end, because I guarantee you, you will see it, okay? Don't make that mistake of not having a finished end, okay? And last on my list, and honestly, I could go on forever with this topic, but last on my list are double ovens or built-in ovens or oven microwave combos. So a typical oven cabinet, typical, and you know, it doesn't matter if you're doing framed, frameless, because a lot of times people still use these standard typical oven cabinets with frameless, when people are just, you know, not as concerned about all of the reveals of a frameless cabinet design. A typical oven cabinet looks like this. So a typical double oven or built-in oven tall cabinet, just it has the cabinet, it has an opening, and then it has a panel attached to the front. This panel can be taken off, usually with clips. And then the cutout needs to be cut out on site by what your appliance specification calls for, okay? Every oven needs a different cutout. So cabinet manufacturers just make the standard panel that has a cutout, and it's way smaller than what you need. And you're going to have to cut that out. Now, in semi-custom, full custom cabinet manufacturing factories these days, you can ask for a factory cutout. So you supply your dimensions that you need per cutout, per specs, and then it's usually an extra charge, but the factory can cut this out for you. 99% of the time, if it's a standard panel on the front of a built-in oven, we just cut it out on site. You know, sometimes we don't install cabinetry, right? So a lot of times I work with people and they have their contractor, and I supply cabinet packages. And I did have a customer reach out to me one time, and they were, again, freaking out, right? Oh my God, like the oven cutout is wrong. Oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? And I'm like, it's okay. That is normal. Just tell your cabinet installer to cut it out. It's okay, you know? So that's a totally standard thing in the cabinet world, that you cut this out on site. Now, again, when it comes to European flush inset appliances, which is kind of that whole category of high-end appliances, Miele, you know, the Sub-Zero appliances, so many more. When it is, you can look at the specifications, and a lot of times it will tell you standard framed cabinet install method under the appliance specs, and then it will tell you Euro flush inset or just flush inset specifications for this kind of install, right? And that's for you to determine and know, okay, which way am I going here, right? Do I have frameless cabinets? Do I really want to have it super flush? It looks cool when you do like a whole section of tall cabinets and everything's super flush and panels in between, and all your reveals are just like perfect. I mean, that looks really, it looks like top dollar. And but you have to look at that. So in this case, your double oven cabinet will not have a panel that you cut out. It actually just comes as a gap, because the appliance will overlap on the sides of that cabinet box just to leave a smidge. And you know, it's usually like a 1/16 of an eighth, or I'm sorry, and American numbers and measurements, right? So it's a 1/16 of a reveal on each side of this appliance, of this panel, right? Because then when you sit your next tall unit next to it, it also has a 1/16, and it gives you an eighth. And that's like kind of the standard reveal between cabinet drawer fronts and doors in the Euro frameless cabinet world. So when you're trying to order an oven cabinet for a flush inset appliance, you have to double check the specs, and a lot of times you have to ask for a custom sized cabinet that the factory will perfectly size so your cabinet, your appliance slides in and you have that perfect reveal. And that's not just for the sides, that's also for top and bottom. Really read your appliance specs, and it can get pretty intimidating if you're doing this by yourself. Just take your time and read through those so you don't make, you know, mistakes and don't order the right dimensions for your appliance, okay? I think that was it. I'm probably gonna make like a deep dive into one of these sections down the road with another video, but I don't want to keep going on here forever. I hope this helped. It's kind of like a broad touch on appliances to kind of help you out during the planning stage. Again, appliances need to be selected before you order your cabinets. If I missed anything, or you're in a remodel right now and you do have some questions, make sure to leave those questions below. I'm always happy to answer those. I love your guys' feedback. We're all so hyped about everybody watching our channel. And again, if you're, you know, into kitchen design, into kitchen remodeling, you're maybe a designer yourself, a contractor, or working on your own remodel, this is definitely the channel to be in. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It would definitely mean a lot to me. And okay, I think that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.